Alright, so Apex Legends just got a huge update that's live across all platforms currently. Now I know not everyone reads Reddit or follows social media such as on Twitter, so I'm going to cover the basics of these patch notes. Now first of all, they didn't mention when Season 1 for Apex Legends is going to come out. So we're still in the dark about that, but they said they are working on it and it will be this month. Now perhaps the biggest thing to this update is the Wingman Nerf. So let me just read you what they said here. And this is the developer speaking, not me. Overall, we feel that the current weapons present solid options for a variety of gameplay styles. We found that the Skull Piercer Wingman has been on the stronger end, but it's designed to be a weapon with a higher skill ceiling. Our adjustments are attempting to move it more into the hand cannon space and away from a full auto deagle. We've also adjusted the rate of fire of the Peacekeeper with the shotgun bolt attachment, so players will have a larger window of vulnerability if they miss their shot. Additionally, the scarcity of energy ammo and lower number of energy weapons overall has made those weapons difficult to main. So we've increased energy weapon and ammo availability. So all three of those things they mentioned in that paragraph were quite true. Almost in every single match, you'd see someone using the Wingman with Skull Piercer. Now I know a lot of people use the Peacekeeper, but I didn't think it required a nerf. But the energy weapons and ammo was insanely true. In fact, I was going to do a video about that earlier today. This morning I played 10 matches of Apex Legends, and my goal was to prove just how scarce some of the energy weapons are. In particular, the triple take sniper rifle. So in those 10 matches, I wrote down every time I saw a triple take. And by the way, I won 4 of the matches, so I made it to the very end of the game in 4 out of the 10. And out of those 10, I saw 1 triple take. That's it, 1. And that's even through looting death crates and everything in the game. 1 triple take. So it's good that they're increasing the spawn of these. So here's the actual nerf details on what was just talked about. First, the Wingman's rate of fire is reduced from 3.1 to 2.6 shots per second. Next, the Skull Piercer headshot damage multiplier was reduced from 2.5 to 2.25. And lastly, they increased the Wingman's base hipfire spread and decreased the rate at which hipfire spread decays, which means shrinks back down. So I'm glad they didn't touch the base damage for this Wingman, and it only applies to the Skull Piercer attachment. Likewise, the reduced rate of fire isn't that big a deal. The Wingman already had one of the fastest times to kill with Skull Piercer, so this reduced rate of fire should balance things out nicely. Now as for the Peacekeeper, it says the shotgun bolt rechamber rate was reduced. So level 1 went from 10% to 7.5%, a level 2 shotgun bolt went from 20% to 13%, and level 3 went from 25% down to 16%. Now next they said the Wingman and the Peacekeeper availability was reduced in all zone tiers. That means there's going to be less of these two weapons throughout the whole game. And of course, as mentioned, they increased the availability of energy weapons and ammo in all zone tiers. Now they have a section here saying, why no P2020 or Mozambique buffs? And honestly, I don't understand their justification here. They said their goal is to have a power curve of weapons. And by power curve, they meant that some weapons will be weaker and more common, while others will be stronger and rarer. And then they say some weapons are supposed to be intentionally less powerful until you kit them out with the appropriate attachments. But even a fully kitted out Mozambique is still pretty bad. But they do say that they are listening to feedback and they might consider things in the future. Now next they talked about the hitboxes. And this is what they said. We're planning on adjusting the size of the large character hitboxes to better fit their model. If these changes are insufficient to bring these characters in line, we're also considering a range of other changes, such as natural damage reduction, as well as individual kit power tweaks. Because many of these changes are significant, we want to make sure they're heavily tested before they go live. Overall, we want to try and increase the power level of the large rig characters. And that's before we consider large nerfs to everyone else. So that's good news. They're going to work on a few things internally and then push them live after some heavy testing. So those hitbox changes will be coming at the start of Season 1. And that's for Caustic, Pathfinder, and Gibraltar. Meanwhile, they're going to do some minor balance changes to the following legends. Caustic's traps will have a reduced cooldown to 25 seconds from 30 seconds. His traps will also have an increased radius and proximity radius by about 10%. And lastly, they're going to remove a 1-second delay on the smoke dealing damage to players. For Pathfinder, they're going to increase the number of beacons in the world from 10 to 12. And if you weren't aware, that's just for his passive ability where he can stick his hand into that device and see where the next circle's going to be. Now, I don't understand this next one. It's a nerf to Lifeline. They're going to remove the slight chance that level 4 armor and helmets will drop. So I've probably played well over 500 games in Apex Legends, and I've seen a Lifeline care package drop one time. Just one single time with gold armor. And for whatever reason here, they're going to remove that altogether. Meanwhile, it looks like Wraith is going to get a nerf as well. Her Into the Void cooldown is going to be increased from 20 seconds up to 25 seconds. And lastly, Bangalore is catching a nerf as well. Her double time movement ability is going to have a reduced movement speed from 40% down to 30%. So again, all those legend changes are coming at the start of Season 1. Those aren't live yet. But all the weapon changes I mentioned are currently live. So the changes to the Wingman, the Peacekeeper, and the energy weapons. So that's all there is to it for this patch note update. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with these changes. Like I said, I agree with the Wingman ones, but the Peacekeeper ones have me a bit confused. And I absolutely agreed with the energy weapon changes. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. In the meantime, I'm going to go do some testing to see if I can find any hidden changes in this update.